In part 2 of the pre-flight inspection, I'm going to cover some things you do in the pre-flight inspection in general and not necessarily in order. In the real world, you will want to thoroughly complete the pre-flight inspection before you take the plane out for the first time of the day. Because the checklist is large, I will display it near the end of the video, but keep in mind it is not in perfect order as I combined or summarized some of the steps. One of the things you'll want to do is to make sure the aircraft is untied and unhooked and that the chock blocks are removed. Also consider the position of the airplane so that you don't incur prop blast when you start the engine that might impact something behind the airplane. So you may actually have to manually move the airplane to another location if there is a danger of something getting damaged, for example, cars parked behind the plane when you start the engine. As you walk around the aircraft, make sure there are no dents or loose rivets. Make sure the horizontal stabilizer is secure and the rudder looks good. Make sure the trim tab is flush with the elevator. It should not look like this or this if the trim inside the aircraft is set to the takeoff position. It should be flush. You will also want to check the hinges to make sure they look good, such as making sure the nuts and bolts are secure and the actuator arms are moving freely. This includes the areas around the elevator, the ailerons, and the flaps. Also make sure, if there is one, that the rudder lock is off. Check to make sure the antennas look good and that they are securely fixed to the airplane. Also check to make sure the strobe lights and the nav lights are secure and that they are clean as well. This particular airplane does not have a strobe light, but it does have a nav light. Also make sure the taxi and landing lights are secure and clean as well. You will have a fuel strainer with you when you come to the point where you check for water and contamination in the fuel, and also to make sure the fuel is in the proper color. You will take several samples under each wing and under the fuselage. On top of the wings, you will undo the caps on both wings to make sure the wing is full of fuel. Also, you'll want to make sure the cap vents are clear. Make sure the cooling vents are clear, and also you may be able to reach in to check to see if the engine belt has tension. Check the propeller and the cone in front of the propeller to make sure they are in good condition. For the propeller, make sure it is smooth and that it has no dents or nicks. Also, make sure the air filter is clean. Make sure the exhaust is secure. Make sure the tires are properly inflated and that the tread is not worn. Also make sure the front wheel looks good, including the struts, connections, etc. Open this door to check for oil and also to take a peek and look at the engine to make sure there are no hoses and wires that are disconnected or any cracks or leaks that might be a concern. Make sure the static vent is clear of obstruction. And also make sure the pitot tube and the fuel tank vent are clear of obstructions as well. Check the stall horn by taking a handkerchief, putting it over the horn, and then inhaling to make sure you hear a sound. Here is the pre-flight checklist again for your review. Feel free to pause the video to give yourself time to become thoroughly familiar with it. This concludes the pre-flight inspection. Please subscribe to this channel if you are interested in learning more, as I will continue to add more videos.